I'm talking like fully immersive. Did I share too much? Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast, guys. I am Spencer Cartier.
I am Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam, and this here is Frank. And by the looks of the two of you, you would never guess that it was 80 degrees out.
It's not.
It is. It's a beautiful day.
Where we live.
Finally. We were down in Florida, what, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, maybe.
A week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see the nice weather a little early.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're back on the top of the East Coast, and we're getting it now. We're getting these warm days. Might even go to the beach soon. I don't know.
The Pennsylvania beach.
Well, the New Jersey beach, but same idea.
Yes.
Is Pennsylvania considered a landlocked state?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Well, like
every state has water in it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but landlocked means on all sides you're not connected to water, right? So like Kansas.
Right. So we could get in the river and we could sail to
the ocean. So that's why I'm thinking we're not a landlocked state.
Okay.
Because you can escape Pennsylvania via boat.
You can.
So
maybe that's what it means.
I wonder if you're bordered by if you're bordered
right, because
on
that
sides.
would make a whole bunch of landlocked states if we were wrong. If you had to border the ocean, that would not make only a few states border the ocean.
Oh, well, how many do you think it is? Don't do any quick counting.
Okay,
because there's a lot on the East Coast.
Okay,
3 on the West Coast.
12.
3 on the West Coast, a lot on the East Coast. I'm going to say 13.
You just said
13,
don't count.
13.
You just said don't count.
No, oh my God. It's obviously more than 13.
Yeah.
The 13 colonies all were on the coast.
Not all of them.
They all were. Which ones weren't? Unless, was Ohio? Or one? No, they were all the coastline.
Oh.
That was like Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Connecticut's on the ocean?
I'm going to go ahead and say 17.
Okay, well.
I changed it.
You made me pick... And you told me not to do any calculating.
Listen, we're probably both wrong. But hey guys. Oh, I didn't even see you there. It's the Croak and Crow show starring Courage, the cowardly dog. Now we're back.
That was a creepy cartoon.
Yeah. Abandoned in the middle of nowhere.
It was so strange.
He was found by Muriel.
Maybe it's not so odd now to look back on it.
I think it might be odder.
Oh, really?
Odder.
But I mean, going forward, like we were living our lives with cartoons. And then like that just came out at us out of nowhere. And we were like, why?
Yeah. I liked it. I think, but you know what like cartoons transitioned into is like this over the top humor, like this anti-jokes.
Oh, yeah.
And like where it's just like literally like, oh, you have to not try to get it to get it.
Yeah.
I think that was right on the cusp between traditional cartoons and modern cartoons.
Right.
And it was just like an edgy cartoon.
Right.
And so I stan Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I never liked it. I didn't like the drawing.
Oh, no. I
didn't like the artwork.
You truly didn't like it? Or like you were like, ooh.
I didn't find it aesthetically pleasing to my eye.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Big Courage fan. And I'm also a big fan of Courage. So.
Do you like the Cowardly Lion?
Yeah.
Which would be the opposite of the Couragely Dog.
Well, I don't know if a dog's the opposite of a lion. I guess it is because dog, cat.
I saw this
small, big.
I saw this Instagram.
Courageousless.
I saw this Instagram. To finish that, I did like that lion, especially when he got his hair curled. But I saw this Instagram. You know how they post a picture. I don't never know what they're called, and it said, "Sure, the lion and the bear. Is it bear? Are the most powerful? No, are they the most powerful? You never see a wolf in a circus." And I was like,
"Well, I think they're just not as smart wolves
to be trained."
Yeah,
or are they?
No, I was watching on TikTok.
Act dumb, you know.
I was watching on TikTok, and they were like asking this like wolf. He has a wolf refuge, and so he's like
wolf has a wolf refuge.
No,
what an entrepreneur!
Yeah, and he also has a TikTok. The big bad wolf.
I like it.
And he was saying, do wolves, because they tower over dogs, bigger teeth, look like that. He said, would they make, or one of the comments was, would they make good guard dogs? Mm-hmm. And he was saying, no, not at all. They would get scared and they'd hide.
Aww.
Because they're pack animals. And so our domestic pit bulls and stuff are trained
to act alone.
And jump into action, where wolves are more
lone wolf. I thought they were always alone.
No, wolves are a pack animal.
Yeah.
But so they wouldn't make good guard dogs on their own. They don't look for confrontation.
But what I'm saying is, what if this is all an act?
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying.
And they're looking at their dog friends, and they're like,
it's like zebras. You know, like you can't ride a zebra,
right?
And it's like, are they the smart ones, and horses are the dumb ones? But guess what? Horses get to eat hay in nice areas of the country with a very rich owner, and zebras are getting killed by lions in Africa. So who's really smarter?
The lion,
the witch, and the wardrobe. Guys, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It's the first podcast of the week.
Wisdom Wednesday.
Wisdom every day. First podcast of the week. Did you check out the meme review? Oh, that went up pretty late. Did we make the Sunday cutoff?
For our time zone?
Or for any time zone besides Europe. Because we're on the East Coast.
Yeah, we have UK friends.
Okay, well, if you're in the UK,
and
sorry.
Philippine friends.
It was a Monday meme review, but for everyone else, it was a Sunday meme review. And now it's the start of the week for us here on the podcast.
Croak and crow.
Croak and crow. Wednesday, which means only one thing. It's one word Wednesday.
Roll the dance.
There's no dance on One Word Wednesday. That's a walk through Thursday thing.
Okay. Come back tomorrow to dance.
So you know what we do. We pick a word and we talk about it.
Yes.
We just fill your ears and your living rooms if you're playing us on the TV. And we talk about its spiritual significance, its earthly significance.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Anything.
Spiritual, earthly. Educational, but don't listen to any of our educational stuff because it's not. Nutritional. I don't know, digestible.
Yeah.
So what is today's word?
Listen, this word is not in the Bible, but I don't care because it's adventure.
Woo!
Adventure.
Woo!
Adventure.
Adventure time. That's one of those modern cartoons I was talking about.
Really?
Where it's hard to understand.
Choose your own adventure.
Those used to be my favorite
books. Those books. Who you got your money's worth on those books. You got your money's worth.
You could go through it a couple times.
Choose your own adventure.
You know what was always annoying thing? Because I loved choose your own adventure books, but when I would read it, like some of them, not all of them, some of them, you'd read it again and you choose a different path. And then you realize that like there's some things that just keep looping back around.
Some books weren't as good as others. Some were loopers.
Yeah, and it's like whatever you felt said.
Cheated.
Yeah, whatever you said. Yeah. They made it work.
But you know what?
To still go to the plot.
You know what's like a choose your own adventure? I talked about The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I think is the name of the show. I think the most that show's not on anymore, but they did have like a recent episode, and it was a choose your own adventure.
Oh, I remember
Netflix,
that. And it was like you pause and you have the camera or the remote.
Yeah, what was my phone? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I looked at it as like a little spectacle, but I didn't actually.
So like I find you to be an adventurous guy. So
I'm an adventurer.
An adventurer, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I want that on my LinkedIn. You know, everyone says like, oh, I'm a hard worker and a CEO. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah, I just want a Spencer Carty adventurer. And then I want to apply at like prestigious places. And they're like, what's your past experience?
Well, it depends on where you're applying. I mean.
No, I want to like do like tech jobs. But then they're like, because that's the one thing they're missing. They have all homebodies.
You know what? Once I tell you the definition of adventure, you'll see why they're not going to hire you. I know the word adventure. We just said, choose your own adventure. That's an adventure. Let's go on an adventure. I would even tell little children that. Let's go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Once I read the definition, I said, oh, I didn't know that the R word was in there. And that is...
an unusual and exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. Her recent adventure in Italy.
I thought the word risky was in there. It must have been something else I read. But hazardous is another word that I would not consider. I think somewhere I saw risky. And, okay, I do accept that that's the definition. But did you think it was hazardous or risky?
You know, it's like one of these things that I think it's like this different synonym would make it seem more understandable. Because like when you say an unusual and exciting,
Well,
for something to be truly exciting, doesn't there gotta be a little risk in it?
so then it's correct.
If you're going to the local park, is
Right.
that an adventure? Or if you're going to somewhere you don't know,
Right,
where then
unusual.
there's unusual, and
Right.
then obviously it's not saying you're going to the middle of a war zone and then that's an adventure. It's just saying like, oh wow, like I don't know anybody there, I don't know the streets. It's like everything you're saying then obviously has the risk,
Right.
opposed to the safety of being in your home.
Right.
And so you're saying,
And I have heard it used in a way to reframe an experience. So when you say, oh no, like there's a detour, and then someone else will say, that's okay, this is an adventure.
yeah,
To change where normally, it's like, oh no, where are we going? This seems, I'm talking big detour, not just, not just when you have to go around the cones.
here we go. It's just like a guy with the flagger force.
I've been on an adventure. So that's the only piece of paper I have, this definition. As for some sort of Bible word or some sort
I
of
think Jesus went on a pretty big adventure.
did want to adventure. But
so did Paul.
Yeah, you're correct. You know what? It's funny you should say that. When I typed in adventure on Bible Gateway,
Shout out.
It said, sorry, we can't help you with that, but here's a suggestion. And it was just talking about Paul going out on his excursions. So that was interesting. But the only word that I could pull was the beginning of the word adventure, which is Advent. And we do know Advent, which you had a lot of fun in Advent getting your presents.
Get my gifts every day. When's
because
Christmas?
Advent means the coming or the arrival of something, what happens before something. So that was kind of adventure.
Is that the root of the word, or is the root of the word venture?
No, that's not the root of the word. It just reminded me of the word.
But is it though?
I'd have to pick the paper back up off the floor.
Okay, don't even worry about it then.
Okay. Now, if the only other thing I can say before I kind of throw stuff in the pot and then you stir it and then you serve it. And you're going to serve us.
This should be called the Stir and Serve podcast.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Stir and Serve podcast.
That sounds like you're smoking the marijuana.
The marijuana.
Podcast. I'm sure.
Go on an adventure.
I'm sure there is a podcast called The Podcast. And I'm sure it's about marijuana.
It's probably like podcast 1, 2, 420.
Yeah.
520, 620.
Nice.
Okay. So the only other thing that I could make a connection, so we're going to talk about it, but like initially out of the box, can this word work for One Word Wednesday? I was thinking that all of these pilgrimages, they're quite the adventure, aren't they?
Yeah.
When I know Muslims have to go to Mecca, Jewish people, they too.
Birthright, Israel.
Yeah, they go to, I don't know, the Wailing Wall or whatever. And unfortunately, recently, might have been recently, maybe not, but I had just seen the headline recently that there was a stampede at one of these Jewish adventures, these spiritual adventures, one of these pilgrimages where people had been trampled to death.
By what?
Huh?
By animals?
People.
Why?
The crush of people.
Oh.
Do you ever see? Is it Mecca? When that's Mecca, but I'm talking about this was Jewish.
Okay.
So that is definitely hazardous, but you definitely would still go on that adventure.
Can I get the definition again?
I threw it so dramatically to the ground, but I shall go get it. I shall.
Yeah, it'll be a little adventure. Don't fall.
I'm going on an adventure. My favorite magic ship.
Thank you. Okay, so adventure, an unusual and exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. Now, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Now that we're talking about spirituality, you know what's the biggest adventure?
Life.
Life.
I would have said it louder if I thought I was correct.
Life.
That's me being timid.
Say it with your chest. Is
life
not an adventure? Now, because some people, if you're into spirituality, that's awesome. If you're not, you might think life is all there is. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
But if you're like me, if you're like you, if you're like Frank, you think life is an adventure.
Okay.
an adventure of discovery. It's like one of these movies, like Indiana Jones or something.
Right.
And
An adventure movie.
It's
not called action movie.
Compared to, heaven, right? Because if that's where all creation starts, it's unusual, exciting, typically hazardous. I think I did the math before. There's a 100% death rate on Earth. Everyone dies. Experience or activity. And so, yeah, I mean, I think life's an adventure now. With that, there's obviously all adventures throughout life, smaller adventures to the one grand adventure.
Right.
But I think it's important to remember that all of life is an adventure.
Great adventure.
The great what was that? Six Flags?
Yeah.
Because where you said, "Oh, I didn't know it had the R word."
I didn't know.
Meaning risky.
I didn't know it was hazardous.
Yeah, you didn't
hazard pay.
Yeah, and so you kind of got a little hazardous. Maybe I'm not up for an adventure.
No.
But when you think about life being an adventure and then the fact that we are all going to one day not be on life, I think it frees you to then do more adventures in life and to then make the greater adventure that much more appealing.
Say more.
What I'm trying to say
I'm with you, but just say
what
more.
I'm trying to say is I think you need to treat life as an adventure because that's what it is.
Okay.
And the more you go in the safe comfort lane, I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. I'm going to stay in my house. I'm not going to go, you know what, like you said, someone might have been doing birthright and they got trampled.
Right.
The opposing thing would be, I'm going to stay home. You know what, there's a lot of people there, blah, blah, blah. But the people who went, did they risk, was it a little bit of an adventure? A country they've never been?
Right.
Maybe a language they didn't speak? But I'm sure they got a spiritual experience.
Right.
And I think it's
with great risk comes
great reward. And I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not saying
no.
Go to a war zone because life's an adventure. But I am saying life is an adventure. And so therefore, get the most out of it.
Right.
You're Indiana Jones and you want to get the treasure of life.
And maybe we could even say sitting in your house. So you're saying life is an adventure.
Yeah.
So sitting in your house, you are still on that adventure, whether you want to admit it or not, because you never know what could fall out of the sky and hit your roof or knock on your door.
Definitely two opposing views here.
Really?
Oh, well, it's pretty dangerous even being at home.
Well, so then why not go outside?
Oh, yes. That's
all I was saying.
I thought you were saying like, this is already too much of an adventure.
I kind of do feel that way, but if you can't avoid it, because if you're alive, you're on an adventure.
Yeah. No, and I think it's a very freeing thing. I remember, you ever hear Will Smith's motivational talk?
I've heard a couple things, but I don't know if it's the one you're referring to.
Okay, well, he was talking about fear, and he was like how you can't let fear dictate your life. And then he was talking about jumping out of a plane. And the idea of it was he was terrified to do it. And he agreed to it. I think he had a little bit of a few drinks and agreed with friends. Woke up the next day and they called him and said, "Hey, we're signed up and everything." He was like, "What?" And for the next 48 hours, he was just petrified. Until he got in the plane, petrified, everything petrified. And then only once he jumped out of the plane and he was free falling, he lost all fear.
Right.
And he said nothing mattered anymore. Huh. It was like, it was just living in the moment.
Right.
There were
of course.
There's nothing to then be like, oh, shouldn't I do this? And then so he was like, how pointless was the 48 hours of fearing when you're not even afraid when the actual thing's happening?
Oh, interesting.
And you could broaden completely that out to life with death. And I'm my belief, in heaven and stuff, is that it's the same way. It's that once it happens, you're no longer afraid.
Right. And
that's what you... And so why did you stress the last 80 years being afraid?
Definitely.
Or not going to the what it's called something when you do a spiritual walk.
I know.
Pilgrimage.
Oh, right.
And not doing a pilgrimage, not doing this, not doing that, when it's like that's what it's all about. It's one big adventure. Discovering yourself.
That is in the Bible about not worrying. You add not one day to your life from worrying.
Yeah.
So
and you take some away.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah. I had abbreviated you earlier when you said Jesus went on an adventure.
No, yeah, Jesus did go on an adventure. And was it unusual?
Yeah.
Yeah, very unusual. I think he did some miracles. It was exciting, that's for sure. A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Story so nice they had to write it twice, but they wrote it 4 times.
Yeah.
Whatever. Was it hazardous? Yeah, I'd say it was a little on the hazardous end, but
great reward.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone got their sins forgiven.
Yeah.
So I think it was.
And you might say, "Oh, well, he didn't get rewarded. We got rewarded." But because he loves us so much, he did get rewarded.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to buy you a present, and I'm not going to benefit from it at all. Mm-hmm. Do I get rewarded once I give you the present? No. Yes, I do, because I paid, but I was happy to see that you were happy. And
presents or gifts are my love language, so I know that more than anybody. Yeah. But yeah, and also, I mean, like, was he rewarded? Yeah, because once again, you know, spiritually, he was spreading his word, but it's that idea of those with ears will hear, mm-hmm. and those with ears heard. So even though he went through, you know, the ultimate sacrifice, earthly sacrifice, his mission was accomplished, and the people who needed to hear heard. Now look, still following 2000. People
are still hearing. People are still talking.
2021 days.
We have been here for 2021 days.
Years later.
There is a certain, I don't know what it is. It's a type of religiosity. I don't know if it's a religion.
Religiosity.
I don't know if it's just a way of thinking, but I can't remember exactly. It's called Ignatius or something like that, and they call it adventure praying. All of this, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know what I'm talking about, but from what I gathered, your meditation is the Bible, but you literally try to imagine being there. So you know, when you just think of, say, take the crucifixion, which would be like the biggest story in there, you know, you don't just read this. You're like,
how are you reading and imagining at the same time?
Maybe someone's reading, or maybe you read it and then you closed your eyes. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe you read like a chapter.
Yeah.
And then
literally trying to imagine what it's like. Because it's like going on an adventure that you can't possibly go on. You can't turn back the hands of time. You can't go there.
I just had $1 million idea. I don't know if I
share it with the whole world.
I don't know if I should share it or not.
Tell.
So I might edit this out. You guys watch out. I'm going to trademark it right now.
Okay.
VR.
Verbal trademark.
VR walkthrough of the Bible.
I like it.
Or you could even just like keep it to the New Testament. Mm-hmm. But imagine seeing with your eyes, and maybe even having like, no, I don't even want the Bible reading, because I want it to be as if you are.
Right. I wonder if they have it. Everything exists.
Definitely not high production.
No, true. So you're saying that I'm going to be, maybe Jesus is talking, maybe the loaves and fishes, and I'm there, and I'm like, there's people beside me and behind me.
No, yeah, but like I even want like you to change character. So Jesus is resurrected. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have used VR, but it's completely immersive. The technology's gotten really good.
Virtual reality.
And you even have like the hand things where you can move your hands and fingers. So I'm talking when was it called? Peter, he's like, come, you're on the boat, and the boat's rocking, and you see Jesus, and then you need to move forward, and then you go in the water, and you look up at the water. I'm talking when he's resurrected. You're Thomas, and and so he's there holding his hand, and you with your hand literally.
I could see that. Yeah.
I'm talking like fully immersive. $1 million. Did I share too much? You know, I don't even care, because guess what? Either I'm going to do it, or it's going to be done, and I'm going to get to do it.
And we can get to do it.
Hey, if you know somebody who knows somebody, get to working.
There's a
that'd be an adventure.
There is a Bible. No, there's a Noah's Ark land, and then there's a Bible museum type thing. But I wish there was a amusement park. Because when you were talking, I was thinking like Disney World, because you said the boat was rocking. Yeah. And you know how like they spray you with water and everything?
Yeah.
It could be like,
I think it would be hard to keep it
not sacrilegious.
Because like either you're making it real fun.
Yeah.
And then people are going to be like, why am I having so much fun?
But that's the problem with religion. I'm not going to speak for the other religions, because they have different standards than Christians.
Yeah.
Where you are not allowed to offend, right?
Yeah.
But Christianity, we're pretty tolerant.
Yeah.
But yet we draw the line, like the creativity, like your memes that you not your memes, but the memes that you review.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard digging there to find something to chuckle. And then you see other memes, you're like scrolling through, laughing, like.
Well, no, I mean,
what's the problem?
I think this is the problem. I think there's two major groups. There's conservatives who spend time studying,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore the broad majority of people who know every Bible verse, who do the research enough to have the knowledge to crank out memes.
Right.
And they're pretty conservative types, and so they're not going to be making memes.
Okay.
And then you have the latter, who is more of the...
They need the content to make the funny.
Yeah, and so then there's me, who's caught right there in the middle. I'm both knowledgeable,
but you're the minors, and you get us the diamonds.
Yeah, and so therefore, maybe I'll create this VR thing. I just need a small loan of... How much do you think that would cost?
Sounds like an adventure.
All right, that'd be a financial adventure.
Yeah. Financial
Well, all you need is some investors, all right?
Yeah. And they're out there.
They're out there. Yeah.
They're called angels, actually, aren't they?
Or is it an angel investor?
Yeah.
Well, does that mean is there something more to that? An angel investor is...
I just always liked that they were called that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they are. So adventure, like I said, I consider you an adventurous guy. You like adventure. You go after adventure. You have some adventures coming up.
Yeah, chase adventure. But I'm not, you know what I'm not? An adrenaline junkie.
That's what I was trying to think of.
I'm not, like, I have no interest jumping out of a plane. I have, like, roller coasters. All right, it's fun. I like the speed, but, like, for me, bungee jumping, no thank you. For me, I have no joy in just fear.
I think they're two different things.
What?
Again, the only way I know adventure is not from a book. It's just what I've come up with.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, an adventure is longer.
Yeah.
An adventure is a journey. Mm-hmm. Whereas what you're talking about, this kind of...
It's like, I just want a hit of adrenaline.
Shock, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm into the, you know, the Bear Grylls style. Like, he's out in the wilderness and he might do some crazy, like, he might do one dangerous thing practically.
Right.
But yeah, I don't have the desire just for let me jump out of a plane, because I feel like that's just fear for fear's sake. But then some would say, like, I like to push my body. Right. And it's like, I want to see how far I can go. Yeah. Not how much can I...
What's that song?
Mentally withstand.
I'm thinking of Moana.
How far? It's how far I'll go. I can't right now think about it.
Okay. And I'm guessing or not, I don't know. It would be relative, because an adventure for your grandma would not be an adventure for the high school football team.
Yeah, no, and I think early on when I stated, like, oh, life's an adventure, so keep on playing. Like, don't. That's why I try to say, like, doesn't mean you should go to a war zone, but scale that down. It's like, there is not, like, don't feel like then, oh, I haven't lived life to the fullest, because that's where it goes back to all of life is an adventure. And so it's all personal then, of, like, doing something that you want to do but it's out of your comfort zone. Like, chase those kinds of adventures, like a place you've always wanted to go. Right. Not so much of, like, oh, I need to do something crazy.
It's not adventurous enough. Yeah. Do you want to go on safari?
Yeah, I'd go to the one in Disney World. What was that, the Magic Kingdom?
But you don't want to go to Africa, be on a Jeep. What's it?
I'm doing that.
Lost Ark Jeep.
What was that meditation you just said?
Oh, the Ignatius or something.
I'm doing the Ignatius meditation right now. It's hard. It'd be cool to see, like, elephants and this. Like, I think I would love it, but I also wouldn't love to get eaten by a lion. But does that mean I'm not adventurous?
No, of course it doesn't. It's adventurous to go to a new supermarket. You don't know where anything is.
Ugh.
And it's good for your brain. Hard. You want to keep making these new circuits. That helps you.
Go to new supermarkets.
Go to a new supermarket.
Or safari. One or the other. Either way, you'll benefit.
Almost out any spiritual adventures, like we talked about some of them, or there are famous ones, you go, people want to go and bathe in the River Jordan. I don't even know if that's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or there's other ones that are not so public. Like I want to go to the shrine of, I don't know, Padre Pio or something like this.
I want to go on?
Do you have any? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I read the Bible, like for growing up, I had a lot of Jewish friends. Like my elementary school had a lot of Jewish kids and stuff. And so once you got to the mid-teens age, everyone was going on birthright to the Holy Land, and they would visit the sites and stuff. And it always struck me as a strictly Jewish thing, which it is. I mean, obviously, Israel is Jewish and all that, but when I was reading the Bible, my Bible, it was like, I'm not trying to claim it. I'm just saying, like, it was suddenly striking me, like, David's my favorite person and all this, and I'm like, I want to go to these places. Like, I definitely, I have it. I have it in my mind that I want to do a, like, is there a word for like the greater area of those places? I want to do just like an Old Testament, New Testament tour and just hit those spots, see it, and
they actually have tours. You don't even have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah. And so definitely on board with that. How about you?
I'm not really into international travel at this time.
I'm not going tomorrow.
Okay, then maybe when you tell me when you're going, and I'll see how I feel at that time.
Okay.
But no, I love it all. I want to go to Native American sacred sites.
Yeah, I want to go to Nepal.
I love it all.
Like the monks. Is that Nepal? Where are the monks in the mountains?
Yeah, Tibet.
Nepal,
that's
what I was looking
for. We're going to Ireland. I definitely want to see both pagan and Christian sites.
I'm so dumb.
You're not.
I know I'm dumb, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Not.
This is a new thought. It was once I read the Bible that I wanted to go to all of the holy sites in the Holy Land, but from the get has been the Vatican.
Oh.
And just for the art, I've always been into art. I took art all throughout school.
Oh yeah.
And the first time I saw Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, since then it's, when am I going to the Vatican? So that's
Vatican adventure.
Vatican adventure. But hey, it's been an adventure today, hasn't it?
It was very risky.
It was risky. You didn't know. I could have just gotten a paper cut right there.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming to One Word Wednesday. Comment down below on any adventures maybe you're looking forward to. Is it a new supermarket? Is it safari? I don't know.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. But yeah, tomorrow, walk through Thursday. You know the vibes. Tune in with a smile on your face and get ready for an adventure. Peace.